father a curse on his people, betraying his family in search of the truth, awakening the evil behind the curse. Now they must race to save their people, or die trying.
Welcome to Catch the Craze Pod. What's going on, George? What's going on in the House of Craze today?
Yes. We are back for our double header. And on this hour, we're going to have Michael Gordon. He is the creator of Tiki Zombies, and that is on Kickstarter right now. We're going to be talking about it in just a few minutes.
Let's get it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to the Catch the Craze podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Fur, and I am with
George the Dreamer Medina.
Sorry, guys, but doing multiple things at multiple times and promoting.
Welcome back, everyone, to another live episode of Catch the Craze. It's as if we never left because we were just on about an hour ago, about 5 minutes ago, for an hour, talking to our friends over at Social Studies. And make sure you go and support their Indiegogo. Don't forget, Social Studies on Indiegogo, Michael Virgilio and Adam Cadden. Very, very nice guys. Thank you so much for being on the show. Michael is an officer out there in the West Coast, and he's going to work right now. So, yeah, thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate that. Indiegogo going to Kickstarter. And we will be talking to the creator of Tiki Zombie. His name is Michael Gordon.
Yes.
And Tiki Zombie celebrates 10 years of Tiki Z and his crew with some fantastic new adventures. I'm surprised I got that right on the first read. It's a $1,500 goal. He's got 51 hours to go. He's already made the goal. So all you 42 backers will be getting your stuff. But the campaign ends September 17th at 11:08 p.m. So it ends this Friday. So you still have a couple of days to pledge, but why wait? Let's do it now. Tiki Zombie. So yeah, we'll be talking to him today. And Sam does his thing on the other end over there. He's the producer. He's the co-host. He's the marketing guy. He's the Herb of the show. I mean that in a positive way, not the way we would talk about it back in the 90s when we call somebody a Herb.
Herb!
He's doing this thing. And for all those watching, thank you for coming back. If you never left, thank you for staying on with us. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We are at 414 subscribers right now. We're on the road.
Help us get monetized so I can pay for these bills for these streaming services. It's killing me in my pockets. I'm a brokepreneur. Yes.
Man, listen.
So it is redunculous, homie. Redunculous. But yeah, we're excited. So for those of you who weren't on our last episode where we were live, I do want to share some exciting news with you. the Kickstarter stuff and Indiegogo stuff started coming in the mail. So here are the trading cards. Bang, bang. For those of you who got the trading cards, here is the Senate Areas sticker. Bang! Look at that. Beautiful. Sexy. Right? It's luscious. This is the Hannibal print. Bang! Look at that. Nice cardstock. Right? Then you got the homage cover, and the 2 covers out of the 5 came in. So here is the special homage cover, the limited edition, signed and numbered, comes with a certificate of authenticity. Bang! Right? And then here comes the variant. This is the same cover I just showed you. And here's the variant Sin and what's the name? Viejo cover.
Viejo.
Right? That's limited edition. That came in. And then the bad guy poster. Bang. Look at that. Down.
Bad guy.
Look at that.
I need people like me.
That. Beautiful. He has that Tony.
Your fingers.
He looks like Tony Montana, doesn't he? Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that shit.
Look at
right?
Tony. Like that Tony.
Yeah. After he got shot up. You want to go to war? Okay.
They got shot
okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Listen, I watched.
All he had to do was open the door. Get his boys in.
Exactly.
All you have to do is let your boys in. Tony, open the door, Tony.
They got killed right outside.
It was over. It was like,
he took some bullets and he was still
yes.
getting at him.
Here, come on.
He took the guy from behind to get him.
I killed this cockroaches. He's like, that's okay. Bro. Another Quaalude, she gonna love me tomorrow.
Yo, my favorite line in that movie, that pickup line, where he's dancing with her, and he calls her baby. He's like, don't call me baby. I'm not your baby. He's like, not yet. You gotta give me some time.
He goes, not you talking, not I lie.
All the lines.
All the lines.
Oh,
man. Yo, he's the best.
The kids. You know, the kids.
Oh, I love the part where he's talking to Frank. He's like sitting there. He's like this. After he got shot, he's like, you calling me a liar, Frank?
Liar, Frank.
Is that what you calling me?
What a hassa is?
Yes.
A pig that don't fly steak.
Oh, shit.
Don't kill me, Tony. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. I ain't gonna kill you. Yo, Manolo.
I know, right? Chichi, get the yayo.
Oh, Marta, bro. No te muevas.
Yes. Oh, she was crazy. Oh, man. I knew she was no good. I was like, no. She had the shifty eyes. I was like, oh, hell no.
Was crazy, B. Trust that. He's like, you want me to go out and start all over, come in and we can start all over again? Messing around, Hector. Hector was messing around, bro.
Oh, yeah, I know, Hector. It was awesome. That's a classic. That's a classic.
It's a classic movie. Al Pacino, listen, as a Hispanic, I didn't even know because I watched this movie when I was 7 years old. I have no idea. I barely spoke English. And it never bothered me that he wasn't Hispanic. It never even dawned on me that this is like Al Pacino, who Al Pacino was, and he was playing this Cuban. Now there was a big backlash for it, like.
It was a big backlash. They didn't want to release it. They protested. It went through a whole lot of stuff. But it became the biggest cult classic of the ages. I think every thug, every mob connected, everybody loved this dang movie.
Bro,
oh man,
it's crazy. I watched it. Like I told you, I was maybe 7 or 8 years old watching it in the living room with a bunch of my uncles who were Hispanic, who were loving the movie. It was just I think it was like, I don't know. I mean, I just think it was so well done.
I mean, everything from the soundtrack, the theme. I mean, everything was just like, and then it's like you wanted to root for him because there was something about him you liked, but he did horrible things.
Yo, he was like the first anti-hero I can remember rooting for. Like, he was rooting for the bad. Like that scene where he talks about, I'm the bad guy scene where he gets up there, he's drunk and he's stumbling all that. Yeah. That is so great. The way he delivered that speech and the way great. It was so well done. Kudos to Al Pacino. Like that's probably his best performance as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, he's a character.
Stuff that he did for the
I mean, everything that he's done. I mean, everything he's touched, from Scent of a Woman to Godfather. I mean, everything he's done is brilliant. Carlito's Way, but
Carlito's Way disappointed me a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie.
I love Carlito's Way. You crazy?
I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I did.
Because he sounded exactly like my uncle.
But
that Puerto Rican uncle. I mean, he made me believe he was a Puerto Rock. I was like,
Benny Blanco was the man, though.
Yeah, Benny Blanco was. And that was another thing. That was what I was like, yo.
Remember me?
Yeah, it kind of said, no, never me. I was like,
what was that guy's name?
Pachanga. Yeah, Pachanga. I was like, yo, his boy did him dirty. I was like, yo, that's what I'm saying, Puerto Ricans, right? So my uncle, no, but when I heard it, that the dialect, the way he got it, I mean, it just sounded. I mean, I seen those cats in my neighborhood. And I thought he did a brilliant job on it. I mean, the money that they wasted on part 2, they should have just saved that money. That was just
there was no reason.
Trash.
There's no reason.
Trash.
I'm hearing that they want to remake Scarface, and I'm thinking, why?
Why? You can't.
I mean, granted, the one that Al Pacino Scarface was a remake of Scarface, but like, why are we remaking it? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Because he set the bar so high.
Yeah.
He set the bar so damn high.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't. You just can't. You know, it's like, don't touch it. Don't touch. It's like E.T. You can't do E.T. Right.
Yeah, imagine doing like a remake of E.T.
No, you can't.
Ouch.
It's like,
it's like
Elliot.
yeah.
Home. That was
it's
the
like
best.
when they did that remake of the Karate Kid, I was upset. I was like, why are we doing a remake of the Karate Kid?
The sequel was doo-doo, says Johnny Cyphex. Welcome aboard, Johnny.
It really was.
It was.
Back, Johnny.
Yeah.
No, it really was, dude. It really, really was.
Yeah, it was just like, boom.
Watch this. Have you seen Cobra Kai?
I haven't seen it yet.
Dude.
I heard it's good. I mean, it's got multiple seasons.
It is really, really.
And everyone was dogging it. Everyone was dogging it when it was first announced. And like, it's going to be trash. It's going to be God. But then everybody fell in love with it.
Nah, it started out on YouTube Live. Like when YouTube TV or whatever started out.
And it went over to the big boys.
Then then Netflix said, yeah, now we'll buy it off for you. So they did season 3, and I think they're filming season 4 right now.
Crazy.
So,
good for Ralph Macchio, because for a minute, after My Cousin Vinny, I couldn't find him anymore. I don't know what happened to him.
Movie.
Cousin Vinny was awesome. You know, I was like,
Cousin Vinny.
Yes.
We talk about Al Pacino, but my man, what's his
name?
Joe
Pesci's the best.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci
is a scary
That's the smallest dude on the planet that scares the crap out of me.
Yo, he is scary, bro.
Yo, I was like, if I see him, if I walk into a room and he's sitting at a table, I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm going out. I said, nah, you know what? My mom's calling.
God, you ain't funny. No, you're not funny.
He's going to have a butcher knife. He's going to cut me. Yes. That scene in Goodfellas in the car, tap, tap, tap. I was like, no.
Bro.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy.
He's like, I don't shine shoe boxes anymore.
No.
They didn't tell you. You're in jail. You didn't tell you. He's like, shut up and shine your shoe box. I was like,
yo,
hold him here. Hold him here.
He plays a bad guy so good.
Dude, you know what I like? He's got a sick scene in Casino where he's talking to the banker.
Oh, when he's sitting right next to him? Yeah, he goes. I'm
gonna go to the bank tomorrow. I'm gonna get your money. You don't have my money. I'm gonna bust your head open.
What?
He's like, and just think that I'm gonna go to jail, whatever, and I'm gonna come out just around the time when you're coming out of your coma, and I'm gonna go bust your head again because I don't learn. I'm stupid like that. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. He says it's so much better.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
So
it's a classic scene. Oh my God.
So
I mean, that was one of the scenes that was like really intense, and the other one where Bobby De Niro confronts her and the boyfriend at the diner, and the guys are there, and then they escort him out and they beat the crap out. I was like, oh man, yo, that was when he's sitting. Imagine it's you. He's like, he goes, and the money's on the table. He goes, he's like, get out of my face. I don't want to leave the table. Yeah, if he says, get out of my face, I want to talk to my wife. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to stay here. I'm not leaving because you got your goons out there. Oh, hell no. I'm like.
But the dude keeps messing with her. The dude keeps, even after that beatdown, and she keeps running back to him. Like, he was just stuck. And no matter what what Robert De Niro's character did, she would not go with it.
No.
Isn't that?
He gave her the world, bro.
Yo, everything.
The world.
I don't care. I want this guy right here. I want this guy right here. It's amazing.
You know, it was a classic example of like, you know, you want the riches, you want everything, and the guy's working all the time, but then you want to, you know, so now you're pissed off because you're not spending time. But that's what you wanted. You wanted that lifestyle, and then you go and.
But I don't even think she ever really loved him. You know what I mean? Like she was just kind of. She was like, fine, you know, who she really loved, and it was a scam because this guy was just taking the money from him, and she was giving it to the other guy. Like it was just all a scam. Like,
crazy.
It is, and I don't even know how we went into this tangent about gangster movies, but here we are. Yes. Yeah, if you're a fan of those movies, check them out. Yeah, no, those are really, really good movies. I actually can't wait for the Cobra Kai stuff to start up again because I think it's a really good flick. But I was saying with the remakes, I don't understand.
There's some things you just shouldn't touch.
Of remakes. I was gonna mention. You know, the Wonder Years is gonna have they're bringing it back. The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years, really?
Yeah. But it's from a black kid's point of view growing up in like the 70s or something. So they flipped it. They turned it around, and I think Fred Savage is actually an executive producer on it. So that's gonna be interesting. The Wonder.
Well, no, but they had Topanga. What was Topanga from?
Oh, that was Boy
Meets World. Yeah, because they had the adult version. Yes, where
they
Girl Meets World, something like that. I don't know what they did, but yeah.
Yes, it was like their kid. It was their daughter. Yeah. That's what's Ben Savage? That's his brother.
Yes.
Fred Savage was the Wonder Years, the one we that was Winnie Cooper. That was Winnie Cooper in it.
I was in love with
Winnie Cooper.
You don't understand. You don't understand. I was like, what?
I used to love Winnie Cooper.
There was two girls that I was three. There were three girls that I loved growing up as a kid. Winnie Cooper, Sam from Who's the Boss?
Oh my God!
And Tootie from The Facts of Life. Those are my girls. That was my squad. I was like, if I can have a harem, that's them right there. When I was growing up, that was it. I was in love with all of them. And then when what's her name, Jessica Alba came out. What was that movie where she was a messenger? Dark Angel.
Oh yeah,
Dark Angel. Yeah, that was a breakout role. I was like,
oh God, she was in that.
I said, there goes my future wife. Oh man, I was like, what? Those are the girls. That was the squad.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was
the good old days.
Yeah,
our Wonder Years. Those were our Wonder Years.
Yeah, man. That's when family watched shows together.
You say that, but my family never watched that show with me.
But that's probably because you guys immigrated here.
Oh yeah.
I was born here, so the way I was my family, I was raised here, and so we would watch these shows together. It was one of those things where we ate together, and we watched certain shows together. I remember sitting down watching Give Me a Break, 8 Is Enough, Fact of Life, all that stuff with my mom and my sister and my brother. And then my brothers got older, started hanging out, and it was just me, my mom, and my sister. Then my sister would start hanging out, it was just me and my mom. Yeah, I used to love that stuff. We had specific shows we watched all the time.
I used to watch that with my sister. We on Friday nights, CGIF, thank God it's Friday. They had a whole, growing up in the 90s, they had, it was I think it was
90210.
No. Well, I used to watch that too.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, I used to watch that for sure, dude. Like,
see, my sister's the one who put me onto it because I didn't. Yes. She was like,
me too.
And then it was my sister, and it was his school, other kids at school, and they were talking about it. And every time she would put it on, I would get annoyed because I wanted to watch something else. I forgot what it was, and so then I was like, forget it. I'm gonna sit down and watch this. And I was hooked. I was like, oh man, I was hooked.
Kelly and them,
Kelly,
Brenda, all of them. Kelly and Brenda, bro, like. Forget about it. Oh. But yeah, no. But I used to watch like Full House. There was that Full House would come out on Fridays. Yes. You would have what's that other show with Urkel? I can't remember. Family Matters.
Family
which
Matters.
Was a spinoff of Mork and Min. No, was it Mork and Min? No, what was the spinoff show?
Family Matters was a spinoff of Mork and Min.
Family Matters was a spinoff show, and I'm sure Johnny knows if he's watching.
Yeah, Johnny.
That was a spinoff show. I used to watch that. I used to watch.
We used to watch the Muppets.
Hogan's Family, I think it was.
The Muppet Show.
Yeah, I never watched the Muppets.
The Muppet Show? Oh my God! I forgot what day of the week it was. It was the same day. We always watched the Muppets because they always have a different celebrity. They had Sylvester Stallone. They had Dolly Parton. They always had different celebrities. Always great stuff.
I was watching. What's that other one? Growing Pains.
Growing Pains, yeah.
Family Ties.
Yeah.
That was a good show. As Long as We Got Each Other.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox. And then I was a huge fan of the Back to the Future trilogy. Like, that was my shit. Like, I love Back to the Future. Back to the Future is my joint.
Look at the smile away. Don't waste another minute on your crying. Little you begin. The best is ready to begin. Right. Ooh, as long as we got each other. Yeah, I remember that. That's great. But that's what they all. I mean, in those shows had theme songs.
They had theme songs.
Yes, and now it's like come on.
No, they had things like I'm sure you know the family. Which Tootie? What was the show that she came from?
Facts of Life.
It's like the Facts of Life.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take the both, and then you have the fact of life. The facts of life. There's a time you have to grow and show you're growing, and now you know about the facts of life. The facts of life. When the world never seems to be living up to your dreams.
You can sing over that.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a good show. Yeah. George Clooney made an appearance. Remember, wasn't he Joe's boyfriend?
Yeah,
George
that's right.
Clooney.
Joe. She was. I was also thinking Joe. She was tough. I was like, oh man.
Joe. I like Blair.
For me, it was Tootie, and then my second was Joe. Blair, for me, seemed needy. It was like, nah. See, Joe was independent. Tootie was just fun and cute. And Blair was just too needy for me. I was like, nah, she's high maintenance. I don't need that in my life.
Yo, but Mrs. Garrett, that was a spinoff show of Different Strokes.
He's saying it was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers.
Yes, it was.
Really?
It was.
Johnny,
you're on point. You're on point, Johnny.
Really?
It was Perfect Strangers. Yes, he was the cop. He
was Perfect Strangers with Balky Baltakamoose?
Yeah.
Yes.
The pee-pee dance.
Yes.
No, not the pee-pee
dance. Remember Bosom Buddies?
We did the Dance of Joy.
Yes. Remember Bosom Buddies?
Bosom Buddies was the joint.
Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Yeah, that was his breakout role. Yes. They dressed as they were the first white chicks. They were the first drag cross-dressing guys. They covered up as dressing as girls.
Yo, you'd be surprised what some of those shows from back in the days, like the kind of the topics that they were kind of talking about. Like, I remember watching. Well, just look at the premise for Three's Company, right? He was supposed to be gay, living with two girls, because at that time you couldn't be a guy living with two girls. It wasn't, it was frowned upon. So he had to pretend he was gay. And, you had all these jokes. I mean, it was a little, I guess it was,
their pants were a little too tight.
It was a bit, who's?
All of them. They all were exposed. If you watch it, and then what's the name, what's the blonde name? Chrissy. Every time she jiggled and jumped up, it was very. I mean, as a kid, as a young boy, man, that show had me hot and bothered. I was like,
I don't like Janet.
Oh yeah, I love Janet. But Chrissy, whenever she would just jiggle, I was like, oh my goodness. As a little kid, I was like, oh man, this is exciting. That was the closest thing to porn as a young boy growing up was Three's Company, because it was crazy.
Three's Company. Wow. Yo, dude, those were. I mean, listen, growing up in that era, it was different.
Yeah, it was different. It was very different. It was there was no tension.
I just don't think we knew what we were watching as a kid. I had no idea. I was being entertained. I didn't even think about it.
I loved that. I mean, you had Punky Brewster. You had
Punky Brewster. I think they brought that show back. I don't know if it's still on. They brought
Small Wonder.
Small Wonder, the little girl that was a
robot.
Right? Yeah. Remember her? Small Wonder. How about Mr. Belvedere? You remember Mr.
Belvedere? Of course. Jeez.
Silver spoons.
Stains on the china. Never saw them before.
Yes.
Who cares? When you drop kick your jacket, once you head to the door.
It was good. I know you like this one. This is your joint, Charles in Charge.
Oh, good Lord, I cried. He said, yeah, he come in. Hey, Charles, it's me, buddy. He's like,
Nicole Eckert. That's all I got to say.
Oh, jeez, forget about it.
That was my joint.
The last episode of Charles in Charge was a live episode, and I cried.
That was sad.
I was like, no, Charles, don't go. It's over. The new boy in your neighborhood lives downstairs.
You made me watch some of these shows, bro.
Yeah, man, those are good stuff. That was some good
I think
stuff.
Hulu might have them.
Hulu has all of them. BJ and the Bear. Oh, Sensei Vegan in the house. Oh, what's up, homie?
What's up, Charles?
Yeah, BJ and the Bear. Remember that? Oh, I gotta. Damn. See, now I gotta think of the song, the opening song for that. That was awesome. You don't remember BJ and the Bear?
No, I don't.
Bear was a monkey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, throwbacks, kid. Throwbacks.
Yeah.
There was so much stuff on TV, man. They had so many shows.
Oh,
I really got to find out if some of these things are on Hulu, bro.
Alf, come on.
Good.
Hey, Willie. Here, kitty. He's like, yeah.
Yo, who did the voice of Alf? Do you know who was the voice of Alf?
I don't know who did the voice of Alf, but man,
who did that?
I love to be a writer on the remake of Alf. Oh man.
Do you think that should be remade?
Yes, I think Alf should be brought back. So? Yes.
Yeah.
Hardcastle and McCormick. This guy's going right back.
Wow.
Jesus. There's like Vegas. Remember Vegas and SWAT? Remember? Hawaii 5. Oh, you know what? Since you're going back that far, how about Barney Miller? Oh! Remember Barney Miller? Oh, man. Hill Street Blues? Remember Hill Street Blues?
You remember the Love Boat?
Oh, yes. The Love Boat. Soon we'll be making love on the run. The Love Boat.
Natalie, yo, Jonathan brought back Natalie from I was trying to remember the name of the girl. Kim Fields and Natalie were like really good friends. Tootie and Natalie.
Yeah, Natalie. Natalie was the healthy girl.
Yes. Natalie. She was funny though.
Yes, Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yo, Charles, you bringing it back.
Little House in the Prairie. Oh.
Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven. Oh, man. Michael Landon. It was over.
Quantum Leap.
Stop
it. I used to love Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. Oh, man.
Yo.
What you got?
That is so funny, dude. And then you had the Knight Rider. You know what I mean? You had
yes.
You know, that was the joint.
Yes. David Hasselhoff. He's still singing across the world. He's a superstar singer in China right now. He's singing everywhere. Really? Yeah, I mean, he's a global phenom. He travels the world just singing. Concerts.
Crazy. He's like the white Julio Iglesias.
Yes. The A-Team. Come on.
Oh,
come on. B.A. Baracus. Oh, man. You crazy? Face.
Jeez.
Oh, man. That's the stuff.
Such good shows, dude. Such good shows.
Mission Impossible. The original Mission Impossible.
What was it? The Bionic Man? What was it? The
$6 Million Man.
The $6 Million Man.
And the Bionic Woman.
And the Bionic Woman.
Yes.
Yo.
Forget it. Good. Wonder Woman. Linda Carter. Yes. Oh,
gorgeous.
What?
Gorgeous.
What? Till to this day, she's aged beautifully.
Yes.
She's
still absolutely.
Yeah, she looks amazing. Absolutely. Simply marvelous. Oh, how about Get Smart?
What?
Get Smart.
Oh, Get Smart.
Yes.
Yeah. Yo, you said that, and you know what reminded me of Inspector Gadget.
Yes.
I just went back to the cartoons for some reason. Penny and them.
Yes. Inspector Gadget.
God. I'm trying to see. Remember Miami Vice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crockett and Tubbs.
Miami.
Fuck. Oh, they had that. Also had the best soundtracks.
Yes, they did.
Oh.
By Charles in Charge. I don't see
everybody dressed like them. Everybody went through those phases.
Oh yeah, Don Johnson.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. With the just T-shirt and
then everybody did the whole George Michael thing when he was it Faith? Oh well, I guess it would be nice if I can't touch my body. The Dukes of Hazzard. Cute.
Oh, Dukes of
Roscoe Pico Train.
Where do you think Daisy Dukes comes from?
Look at them girls with the Daisy Dukes on. Oh, I want you to. Look at them girls with the Daisy Dukes. Yeah, I know. That was oh my, what was that, Luke? 2 Live Crew. Don't stop, get it.
Oh my God, we are reminiscing.
Oh, right when they reminisce over you, my God.
Oh, chips.
Oh, San Martino in the house.
Oh, he's gonna start asking for songs.
You missed it. I've been singing all night.
What up, Mike?
Yes.
What's going on? Yo, looking forward to being on the show. Now, for those who don't know, Michael San Martino will be on the show later on this year. I think your episode's going to air in November, but his book is coming out October 1st. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. October 1st. Get ready for Technigods. Didn't know we were singing. Yes, we are, bro. Yes. You know how it is. Sam always sings. You give him a song. My man's ready to sing.
That's it. Sing of good things, not bad.
Yeah, you can watch Charles in Charge right now on Apple TV for 99 cents. Now,
I'm sure you can stream those episodes on YouTube for free.
You probably can. I mean, CBS. Now, this thing aired in
October
CBS.
1st. He's not October 1st. Is he the 6th?
No. His book comes out.
Oh, his book comes out the 1st. Okay, cool.
Doesn't your book come out? Yeah. October 1st. His book comes out October 1st, Technigods. And he will be on the show. We're recording his episode October 6th, but it won't air until like November 5th.
Nice. So I see that our guest, Michael Gordon's in the waiting room. So, before you bring him in, if you're a comic book creator and if you want to promote your comic book, a book signing, you're going to be at a convention, you're doing a panel, or you have a Kickstarter, why not?
Are you sitting at home wondering how you're going to spread the word about that Comic-Con that you're about to appear at, and you want to get some press? How about your first book signing? How do you spread the word so you can get an audience there? Or that first panel at a Comic-Con? Who do you talk to? Or even your first crowdfunding on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? The world is turning to podcasting to get the word out. Why not you? Sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze and start promoting yourself today.
All right. Welcome.
There he is.
Howdy.
How do you do?
How you doing? Welcome to the show, Mike. How you doing? Everything good?
Everything is fan-tiki-tastic.
Fantastic,
Nice.
baby.
Look at that inventory behind you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Man, that's impressive.
I live it, man.
You sure do. For everyone watching, welcome back. We are here with Michael Gordon. He's the creator of Tiki Zombie. Now, we are celebrating 10 years of Tiki Zombie, Mike. But before we get into the celebration and what we're doing on Kickstarter, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I am a writer, comic publisher, small press. My company's called New Legend. And, I've been making books for about 15 years or so. I'm also a podcaster. You can hear me weekly on the Earth Station 1 podcast, as well as a few other things on the ESO network. So, and I love comics, man. That's my first and my first true love.
Nice. So how did you know that comics was your thing? At what point in your childhood did it click?
I can remember, we all go through those stages, like when we're like, in kindergarten or wherever, we want to be an astronaut or a cop or fireman or something like that, right? After that phase, I wanted to be a comic artist. I was drawing all the time, and that's what I wanted to do. But as fate would have it, I ended up being a writer. I got sort of, I was into movies for a while, behind the scenes, making independent movies, that kind of thing for a while. And about 15, 20 years ago, I rediscovered comics and realized that it was self-publishing was as easy as it ever could be.
Right.
And a lot of doors were open that way, and I got involved with some small publishers, and then I broke out on my own, and the rest is trying to make history.
Nice. So I just want to say you have Captain Love Handle says howdy, Mike.
Oh, howdy, Jazz. Yeah, he's one of the artists on one of the variant covers for the new Kickstarter. He's a great friend as well. Great musician, man. The guy plays a serious rake. Let me tell you, like, yeah, he plays an electric rake, man, and it is, and he plays the saw. He can play regular instruments too, but man, the guy is multi-talented.
That's awesome.
Outstanding.
That's awesome.
Welcome, Mike.
So you were doing your thing in the movies. Were you writing for television or for film, or what was your involvement in that industry at the time before?
I had done some. I did an internship at the British Film Institute way back in the day. We're talking like over 20 years ago. And then I did some freelance work here and there. I moved to Orlando when it was like the hotbed of movie making. But to be honest with you, I wasn't getting any sort of creator work. It was mostly just freelance, intern stuff and all that. And so I struggled for a long time, and I had written some scripts, but I really didn't get anywhere with those, and it was frustrating. So I moved to Atlanta, and because I heard that Atlanta was a hotbed of movie making as well, and then I started getting really more involved in the comics at that point. So yeah, my unfortunately my TV and film career has not taken off yet. So.
Still early.
It's still early. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. He didn't get his didn't really become Stan Lee until he was like almost 50, right? So
yeah, he was in the business for a while before he actually took off that way. So you never know. But as far as your writing goes, now, when you're writing comics, okay, what is your process of writing the comics? Because I've spoken to a lot of artists who say, what they love about writing comics is the fact that it's a lot. I don't want to say easier, but it's loose. It's more loose, I guess. It's just you have more flexibility when you're writing comics. Do you find that's true about writing comics?
You do. I mean, on the one hand, you don't have to worry about budget. You don't have to worry about a lot of things, but I think the main thing you do have to concern yourself with is working specifically with your artist. And the scripts depend on, because nobody sees the scripts, right? Nobody like outside. I mean, sometimes they're published, of course, but really you're basically writing directions to the artist and the art team. And that's the big difference. I mean, with a script, you're writing for a bunch of people, and you're not really encouraged to give directions or whatever. But with like a movie script or a TV script, you're just supposed to tell the story and the dialogue. Whereas with comics, you're just basically and depending on the artist, like the artist that I work with Tiki Zombie, Peter Cutler, is we'll just say unconventional. So I try not to even give him like panel descriptions, because I want to see wherever he decides that the page is going to flow. I trust him. So I just basically say, this is what needs to happen. And here's some lines of dialogue that I think are important to the scene. And he just, I get it back, and usually it's perfect.
I think you made a very big. I mean, the biggest word there was trust, right? You trust your artist that he's going to make the right decision. Put him in the right spot as far as the panels and things of that nature. Have you only worked with your current artist now? You've published other things? Because I want to talk about Tiki Zombies, but have you done anything outside of Tiki Zombies? And have you worked with
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've worked on a few books, and I've also lettered some books and done some freelance stuff. So and there's been times where I didn't know at the time who was going to be the artist. So I basically just wrote a comic script that was basically pretty dry, actually, as far as directions goes. And then once the artist came on board, then I kind of tailored it to that person's but as a publisher too, I help put together the teams. Like we did a book called Cryptozo, where I did the editing on that and the publishing. So I helped put together the team and make sure that everything was in place. And you're absolutely right about trust. I mean, you have to get the people in place that you know are going to do the job and let them do what they do. And 9 times out of 10 it works out. There's a few exceptions, I'm not gonna lie, but there's some times where it doesn't work out. But if you do your due diligence and you hire the right people, then everything is good.
Yeah.
Right. So these, I guess, work ethic, right, and this appreciation for the and the respect for another's ability, the skill set that they bring to the table. Where did that come from? Was that something that was innate? Was it something that you learned over time? Where did that come from?
It's been basically, I think I've, as far as working, and especially working in independent and doing the self-publishing, you really just have to do everything yourself. And nobody's, you don't have anybody cracking the whip except yourself. So you have to get up and obviously there's days where you're like, I really don't want to do that. But I try to make sure that I do at least one thing regarding my publishing company a day, as and then if I can do more, obviously I do, but I just want to make sure that not a day goes by that I don't do something. Because you've got to be diligent. Nobody else is gonna do it. So and there are projects where the only person that doesn't get paid on a book is me. Right. And so I just have to. But I'm the one who, that's the responsibility I have, because I'm the one that usually has the vision, and I'm the one who wants to see this happen, and it's my baby, right? So I'm going to take care of it as best I can. And I think if early on, if I had gotten hired and become really successful or something, then I probably would be really spoiled and not have a great work ethic.
Nice. Yes. So Michael Sammartino's in the audience, and he says, if you want something done right, you must do it yourself. The burden's always on the person who is basically initiating the project, right? Because no one's going to love it as much as you do, so you want to make sure you protect it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, people might be excited by it, but at the end of the day, they're going to do their own thing. They're more interested in their own thing. You're the one who's going to love it as much as you do. And you've got to make sure that you stay on top of things.
Right.
Absolutely. And now, so I'm looking at your background, man, and I just can't stop looking at all of that. It looks like merchandise. It looks like we're about to get all of that stuff in the Kickstarter. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that all gets shipped. And
everything must go. Clearance sale.
And if you pledge today, this could be you. Like Crazy Eddie back there. We're talking about nostalgia back there. We're just talking about all that stuff. But 10 years ago, you created a character, or you created a book called Tiki Zombie.
Correct.
Tell us exactly, what is Tiki Zombie about, and how did the idea come 10 years ago now?
10 years ago. So I would say you go back a little bit further, maybe 11, 12 years ago. I was at my favorite convention in the entire world, and still is to this day, is Dragon Con. I've been there 27 times. I just went a couple weekends ago, and it was my 27th in a row. The guy who used to run the comics and pop art area was really into Tiki. At the time, I didn't know Tiki from anything. I kind of had some ideas, and I found out later that I was much more into Tiki that I didn't even realize. But at the time, I went to this party, and he had Tiki decorations all over the place, little tikis and a lot of straw and grass skirts and everything. But he also had a band playing, and the band was kind of this like sort of monster goth rock thing. And I do remember at one point in the evening, the lead vocalist was just screaming out the word zombie. Zombie, zombie, zombie. And looking at my surroundings, I just made the connection of Tiki Zombie. And I thought it was I really like it when I merge two things, or I see two things put together that you wouldn't normally associate together, and find out, make a connection that way. Hey, that's a great idea. I was around a few people, so I instantly, and the other creators, so I instantly claimed it as my own, because you have to do that when you're around a bunch of creators and it's inspiration strikes. And then I proceeded to develop it. And it was a challenge, actually, because at the time, I was trying to think of, I was trying to think of who to market it to rather than come up with a interesting character and story, which is ass backwards. Like you're not like, and I learned the hard way that. So once I let all that go, expectations or who I'm going to market it to or where it belongs or whatever, I just sat down and said, what would I like to see? And Tiki Z, the main character, came to me as he's a cursed undead creature that happens to own a lounge and have a series of adventures with his crew. And it just started to, once I created the characters and came up with those, they just, started having adventures, and I just started writing them down. And it was just like, it was just magic when that happens. I love it. There's nothing else like that.
Yeah, we talk about it with Sam all the time on the show about how important characters are. When creating stories. Sometimes it'll start with a character. We publish independently as well, and a lot of our stories have started with just a single character, and then you build that world around that. Tell me a little bit about your process of world building. How do you go about your world building experience or process?
As you said, it starts with characters, because if there's been times where it's a struggle where you're like, I have to end this story in 8 pages or whatever. And, they have to get here. But the character's like, nah, man, that's not what I want to do. And it just feels wrong. And you have to like figure out a way that you can get them there, that it's inherent to the characters. And then the world, I think, just comes after, like, for me anyway. I didn't spend too much time building the world before I started writing the stories. I let the stories kind of build out the world. And so by now, after 10 years, I've got a pretty good idea. They're on an island, a fictional island called Mugabali, which is got some supernatural things happening to it. It's got some specific things that are a mystery right now, but there's a reason why there's a lot of supernatural activity on this island. And I just a series of adventure here, and now I pretty much have a good idea of what that island looks like, as well as a lot of the other pieces in it. There's still parts of it that I'm leaving up open to other stories, but I did realize that this story that we've got writing in this new issue coming up is actually the first time we've ever actually drawn the entire island so people can see what it looks like.
Wow. And you started this 10 years ago with the artist on the book his name is Peter Cutler, right?
Yep.
So how did you meet Peter, and how did he get involved with the story?
He's a local guy here to the Atlanta area. He's had some experience with animation and doing album covers, and he's got a very unique old school style. Anybody who's looked at the art can see that there's been inspirations from all sorts of Mad Magazine artists, for example, as well as other folks as well. And we were involved with another comic project. We were put together by another publisher, and that book did not happen. But one thing I took away from it was like, this guy's really good. And he writes in a way that he does things to my pages that make me look brilliant. So I was like, like I would write down like panel. That's when I was doing the panel thing, because I didn't know him. And he would take those panels, and instead of making them actual like panels, he would incorporate them into like a splash page and tell the story that way. And it was just so organic that I just had so much respect for that. And I'm like, I need that guy to work with me on something. And then when Tiki Zombie came up, he did some sketches for me and helped me define some of the characters. And it was obvious then that he was perfect matchup right there.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's pretty amazing. It seems like you had a couple of pledges while we're on the show, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So Talk about that process and how you met your art, how you vetted your artists. You know, what were some of the criteria you're looking for? What that communication looked like before you said this is it?
I wanted so when after I created the characters, then it was like, okay, now what style are we looking at? How are we what's the format gonna be like, et cetera, et cetera. And I wanted to do something like sort of a 0 issue, first and foremost, just to kind of get our feet wet and play around with the characters a little bit. So I thought, well, an 8-page story is good enough for Will Eisner. It's good enough for me, right? So I said, well, let's just do a couple of 8-page stories and see where that goes. And he was more than up for the challenge. He just blew me away with, like I said, his viewpoint on and his style structure is just such that it's not anything that I could consider like standard. And we did that, and there was a couple of bumps where I'm like, I don't really understand, this page is a little too busy, or I'm not really sure this gets the method across. We kind of did it, I guess you'd call it Marvel style, where I would throw him I learned very early on to just let him just set the scene, put some words of dialogue in there, and then let him just do what he does, and then take the page and then fill in words when needed. And we did that, and then I like the format so much that every issue we've done since then, it's been basically 2 8-page stories, and followed by a little bit of extra stuff in the comic, and we've had a lot of fun doing that. It's just, I like the fact that, because I come from, I grew up with the Harvey, the Gold Key, Disney books, where it was full of stories. You got one issue, but it was full of like 3, 4, 5 stories, and you really felt like you were getting your money's worth that way. And Carl Barks, for example, didn't need like 22 pages or like a whole like graphic novel to get his story across. So I really wanted to tell little stories like that, and then therefore people could jump on whenever. If you get issue 3 of Tiki Zombie, or if you get this new issue, you won't have to have read anything else prior to that. I mean, I appreciate it. Like, look, I'm going to sell you whatever you want. Like, right. You want to buy all the issues, I'll sell them to you, but they're not in any sort of like specific order that, story-wise, that you're going to be lost with. You could pick this up and just read it and have fun with it.
Nice.
And for those watching right now, we are speaking with Michael Gordon. He's the creator of Tiki Zombie. It's on Kickstarter right now. He's got 50 hours to go, which is essentially 2 days. Friday, September 17th at 11:08 p.m. is when it ends. Yeah. And he's already made his goal. He's got 42 backers. We're trying to get some more backers for him. Make sure you support the Indiegogo. But Mike, so now when you created Tiki, kind of doodle or maybe drew what you thought the character would look like in your head, and then you said, all right, artist, I need you to make this come to life. Is that how it happened? Because I know that's usually how I do it.
I knew that I knew that there was going to be so I knew that Tiki Z was going to be a dude with a tiki head, and I knew that I said, and in drawing the tiki, I specifically said to Peter, because I kind of could by that point could hear him. I could hear him in my head. I could hear his voice. And I said, you know what, Peter, he sounds like Bruce Campbell. so take that what you will. And I don't know. I mean, I guess some people have said, if you look at, the main character, if you look at Tiki Z, they can see a little bit of like, he's certainly got the chin, right? Like he's definitely got the chin. So yes, if and when Tiki Z ever gets animated, that would be a ideal casting choice for me. And I also knew about the Hulu character. I knew that I knew I'd never wanted her to wear a top, and yet I wanted to keep this sort of PG 13ish. So I'm like, just hide her boobs. I knew that the talking head, Don, I knew that he cursed all the time. Because I know several people actually who cannot say a single phrase without cursing. So I said, that's what I want my guy to be like here. He's literally cursing all the time. But again, I don't want to use those kind of words. I would rather visually see him curse, like, you know, the old days where you had the, you know, the asterisk and the lightning strike and all that kind of stuff, and because it's just fun visually to do that stuff. So so that's what we had. And then Tattoo Baloo, which was a big Samoan guy, I knew I had to have some muscle in the group, and so I just gave him those characters and let him go, and he pretty much got him like the first try. I don't think we went back and forth on anybody, and even the new characters that I give him, I don't think there's ever been a time where I've said, nah, not really. Maybe once, but usually he's right on the money.
Right. So
you mentioned, Sam, you got a question?
Yeah. So I'm looking at your inventory and I'm wondering, is it all that associated with your comic, or is this just stuff that, or just collectibles?
No, everything in my Kickstarter I've made him. It's really important to me that that everything that I offer with the Kickstarter or anything that we offer in New Legend be part of the book experience. So like, so you're not going to see like, you know, tiki stuff from Party City or anything like that. You know, it was really important to me. This is the first time we've had multiple covers. And it was really important to me. There's 4 stories in this new issue. 4 original new stories, and I wanted to make sure that if I was going to have 4 covers or however many covers, that each cover was going to represent a story. So that it wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, I like the cover, but there's nothing in the book that is recognizable here, you know. You know, so I asked some artists that I know that I admire a lot to contribute to those covers. The prints, the pins that we do, they're all character based related. We did a Tiki Zombie soundtrack a few years ago where I got together with some musician friends, and all I wanted was like, I was thinking it would be cool if Tiki Z had a theme. And the next thing I know, about like 8 months later, we had a whole album.
Wow. And not just a theme, a whole album.
Yeah, a whole album.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to do some wish fulfillment there, and and sing an Elvis track, which I've loved since I was in kindergarten.
Oh, which song was this?
It was an Elvis song called Rockahula Baby.
Oh, yes.
And that's what it gets back to when you asked about the Tiki thing. Like, I didn't know, like I said, until I really investigated Tiki and I got involved with this project, I didn't really know much about the Tiki culture, Tiki pop art, that kind of thing. But as I found out more and more about it, I was like, well, hey, I really liked, you know, I loved when Disney, when I went to Disney World as a kid, we went to the Enchanted Tiki Room, we went to Pirates of the Caribbean, we went to Haunted Mansion. Those were my 3 favorite attractions in the park. And the book that I'm doing now sort of has the tone of all 3 of those, I think. I like the Brady Bunch episode with the Vincent Price and the Tiki, you know. My mom had a 45 of Elvis records, a bunch of those, and the one that was my favorite was Rockahula Baby. And I just kept thinking, like, I think I've been Tiki my whole life. I just didn't know it.
Was that in Blue Hawaii?
I believe it is in Blue Hawaii. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He did 2 movies that are in Hawaii, and I think that's the one that's the one that's in there. Yeah.
So
classic.
Yes, I know.
When you discovered this, you know, the whole Tiki culture, what was it about it that struck you the most? That you were like, wow, I did. Like, for those who don't know exactly what the Tiki culture is, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, the Tiki culture on the outside looks like it's really fun and all about drinking. Because it is I think the Tiki pop art, that sort of movement in the 40s and 50s came out of bars. It came out of Don the Beachcomber. It came out of Trader Vic's bars where they served mixed drinks, and they had a whole like sort of escapist experience. When you walked into the bar, you forgot about the real, like everything that was going on in the real world. You could just go and escape to a tropical place, right? And that sort of is carried over to the Tiki movement that's been going on the last decade or so as well. Because it's really not about like you know, appropriating tiki gods or Polynesian culture or anything like that. It's more about like escapism and having just forgetting your leaving your cares behind at the door and embracing what's called like aloha or ohana culture, which is basically all about family, all about love, all about acceptance. And you know, nobody's turned away. Everybody's invited to the party, and we all look out for each other. And you know, I found that the tiki community, much like the comic community, is extremely welcoming. And you know, even if I don't like, you know, I'm not a huge drinker. You know, I like the mugs, I like the aesthetic, but those, like, you know, those collect dust rather than like, you know, are served up with any sort of elaborate cocktails, unfortunately. So
So Captain Love Hensel says, first album I ever played rake on.
Yes, he does play the rake and the saw. He plays them both on that album, which could be historical. I don't know if there's any other album out there where someone has played electric rake and a saw on a single album, and yet he has that distinction on that. You can get that. It is streamable on all the streaming services as well. So if you want a taste of what that soundtrack sounds like, just put in Tiki Zombie in your favorite like streaming music service, and it should pop up. And it's a lot of fun. I still have some CDs left, so very few, but I still have some left, and those are available in the Kickstarter as well.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And we're working on a second one.
A second album. Wow.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're gonna start touring.
Well, you know, if it turns out that's the thing, then what the heck, right?
There you go.
I'll go with it. The 10-year anniversary was supposed to really be a big deal, where I was going to have a new soundtrack. I was going to introduce a Tiki Zombie Tiki mug. I was going to do a lot of like big things this year. But of course, with a lot of things that happened over the last year and a half, it just wasn't able to happen. So, but we have gotten things together where we're putting out this new issue first and foremost, because that's where it starts with me. And if nothing else, Tiki Zombie comes out, that's what I need to come out as the comic, because that's my first priority and my first love. But the other stuff is still being worked on and will still probably come out in the next, hopefully next year.
That's awesome. You mentioned, you know, back when you started, when the idea came to you, you said you did it ass backwards. You had this whole marketing thing, you had this whole thing planned, right? Has it come full circle now that you do have the comic? Now that it's been 10 years later, are you applying some of what you were planning to do 10 years ago to what you're doing today? Has it come full circle for you?
Not completely. It's starting to now, I think, more so than it has been. To be honest, it's been a tough sell. You know, I can remember, you know, after that first issue was completed, I was so happy and proud, and I, you know, submitted it I sent it to some friends of mine to read, and most of them were like, this is great, this is great, this is great, you know, thanks mom, you know, that kind of thing. But I remember one person in particular owns a comic store. He looked at it and he's closed the back cover, and he's like, he just went, who are you trying to market this to? And I was like, oh, I hadn't even like given that any thought since I jettisoned that to concentrate on the characters in the story. And so then it became a whole process of, and that's the other challenge of that we independent guys have, because we have to not only create the books, but we have to market and sell them as well. We have to do everything. And if that's not your particular skill set, I mean, you know, I mean, that takes as much work as anything. So it's only recently that I've really, and because I'm an independent comic person, and I'm not like, you know, it's not paying all the bills. I can only really afford to do one thing on one book at one time. So if Peter's drawing it and inking it, then I can't afford to do anything else on any other book. If I'm coloring it or getting a cover done, I can't afford to do anything else on that book until that's done. Like it's all a slow process. But in the same way that, yes, I can draw, but Peter is so much better at it than I am. That's when I said, well, if in order to celebrate this 10-year anniversary, I really want to step things up and see how far I can reach with this character. You know, I've been doing some marketing myself. I've been going to conventions. I've been to San Diego. I've been to New York. I've been to Chicago. I've been, you know, a lot of places. And this is about as far as I think I can get us. So I need to take us further. And that's when I made the call to Inked Marketing and Kevin. And he's helped me out a lot in that regard as well.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Sometimes we need that. We need some of that, you know, just that backup. Give me some help, you know. And,
you need that backup, and you need to realize that you don't have to do everything. Right. You know, leave it to some people who know what they're doing. And just like you would, you know, letting someone do the coloring and let it to someone inking and stuff like that. You know, the business part of it is no different. You just have, but I mean, obviously it costs money, but if you want it done right, you're gonna, you know, it's a small price to pay, I hope.
Right.
Man, absolutely. And for those watching, if you haven't yet, go to Kickstarter, check out Tiki Zombie 10-year Tiki-versary special. It's to celebrate 10 years of Tiki Z and his crew with some fantastic new adventures. And that I mean, it sounds fun. It sounds like it's just a great time. What are some of the perks that you want to maybe highlight for the people listening right now that you can say, hey, listen, guys, you guys get on this one because this is a good one?
I'm really happy about the covers, and the covers are going to be limited. I decided to make those a limited release. So there will be a standard cover that will be put out like as long as I print the book. But as far as the 3 other covers, the one that Jazz did, the Hot Rod cover, the Myrmidon cover, again, I like that merging combination of things. So Amazon mermaids, got a tribe of Myrmidons there. And also, you know, I had to get my nephew involved. My nephew is in the comics, and you know, at one point, this was about 5 or 6 years ago, when he was like 8 or I don't know, something like that. You know, he said, "Uncle Mike, I want to do a comic." And I said, if you come up with a character and complete a story, I will publish it. So he came up with a character called Super Cheese, and we published 2 issues. And so, and now he's back with a story in this book, a 3-page story where Super Cheese meets Tiki Zombie, and it's a lot of fun. And he drew it, and it's just, I'm just so proud of him. And he did a cover too, so he provided a cover. So, so all of those are offered. If you want the actual books, you can get them as posters as well, because they're just gorgeous, I think. So they belong on people's walls. And the artist that actually I worked with on the 3rd issue that did the cover for the 3rd issue was Robert Jimenez, and he did a wonderfully gracious thing. And he does a lot of what he does is sketch cards. He does he's doing some Star Wars sketch cards right now for Topps. He gets involved with the Garbage Pail, those kind of things. Yeah. And he's done a sketch card for me as well, which is just a 1 exclusive card that we're offering for the kick.
Really good, man.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah, these look great. I'm scrolling through it now. It looks great. It really does. And you have some original art too here. Some 11x17 original art that you're offering.
Yep. Some of the characters that we've spotlight in this episode or in this issue, Peter's done full posters of, and we're offering the original art. We're also offering the original art of all the pages of the book. So once the book is printed and done, you know, the backers will have their choice of what pages they want on a first come, first serve basis. So whoever has pledged first will get first choice of all the pages, and then you know, and then we'll go from there. So
nice. So all right, so the stage is yours, spotlight's on. This is your elevator pitch. Why Tiki Zombie?
Tiki Zombie is a fun book. We've been celebrating it for 10 years. It's about a crew, Tiki Z and his crew of misfits that have some supernatural adventures, a bunch of hijinks. Like I said, it's the main thing about this book is that it's fun, that you can just pick it up. You don't have a lot of baggage. You don't have to worry about reading a lot of other issues. You can just pick this up, enjoy the artwork, enjoy the puns, and have fun with it.
Outstanding. And how can people get in touch with you outside of your campaign?
I'm on. My name is New Legend Mike on all social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can just look up New Legend Mike. If you put in newlegendmike.com, it goes to my blog/website. And you can also put in tikizombie.net, and you can find us there.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much, Mike, for coming on. Listen, when you after the campaign is over, and if you have anything else coming out in the future, you give us a call, you send us something on DM us or whatever, and come back on. I definitely want to talk to you more about what you have in that room. We didn't get to that because we don't have time. I definitely want to talk to you about what's in that room. Thank you so much, Mike, for your time. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody watching, make sure you go to Kickstarter. Go type in Tiki Zombie. You can't miss it.
Link is in the chat. Today. Link is in the summary.
That's right. Link is in the chat already. So, hey, listen, you funded it, so it's coming. It's just about
it's coming.
Just additional things. Because remember, guys, everybody thinks, oh, he funded it, he's good. No. Sometimes some of those things don't go through. Some of that money doesn't go through. Plus, Kickstarter takes a percentage. So just because you made the goal, it doesn't mean that all of that is coming into our pockets. So the more we can get this over the goal, the better it is. So Thank you, Mike, for coming on. And like I said, you're welcome back whenever you want.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you guys for the invite. And thank you guys for all you do for independent creators. We really appreciate it. It's a great service you guys are doing.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Right. So that was Michael Gordon and Tiki Zombie.
Tiki Zombie.
I love the fact that there's so many unique stories out there, characters out there, projects out there. I mean, you think when you think you've heard it all, seen it all, then you get a concept like this that's just fun. His setup is crazy. I was like, what is all that stuff? I was like, look at that.
I know. I'm telling you, it's like eye candy.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Yeah, it just goes to show you like the subcultures that there are within. Just there are so many things we just don't know about. Like I never knew that there was like a whole Tiki culture. Like that's a whole thing, right? Like that's news to me. And here he is, and he's got a book called Tiki Zombie, and you combine two ideas, and here he is, and he's got all these stories.
And he's an Elvis fan. Rock-a-hula, rock-a-hula.
I'm thinking he can sing. He's over here talking about I sang a song.
We'll put him on the spot. Next time he comes to the show, he has to sing the song. That's it.
He's going to have to sing song.
Yes, we have to put you on the spot. Yes. I grew up with Elvis. I was a big Elvis fan. So that was pretty awesome. And Adele Brito, who is on our show and who's an editor, and she actually edited a few of my books. She's a humongous Elvis fan. She dresses every year up as Elvis for Halloween, and and every year you go on her Facebook page on his birthday, and when he passed, she spends the day celebrating Elvis. So I know she'd get a dig out of that.
Who's a big Elvis fan too is our friend Nino Messerina.
Nino, yes. Oh my God, he's always on Instagram singing the songs, playing the guitar. And he slicks his hair back. He looks a lot more like, was it Richie Valens a little bit? But so Nino Messinera, he does his thing.
Yes, Nino, big shout out to him, man. Big shout out to him. And Captain Love Handles, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, we appreciate
checking out the show. If you want to listen to more of this content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit in the chat.
Let's get those algorithms working, because for some reason, the entire data mining system is working against the indie community, because ever since lockdown and you have so many more people at home using online and streaming services, they're making it harder and harder and harder to get the word out. So we need people like you to go out there and help spread the word, because the more that we grow, the more that we give exposure to talented people like Michael Gordon and get his project into the masses. So for everybody that subscribes, that's another person that's going to hear about Michael's project and everybody else's project that comes on the show. So let's combat those algorithms. Hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Help the craze spread like wildfire.
Yeah, because you got to remember, these shows live on this channel forever.
Ever.
These episodes,
Ever.
we don't take them
Ever.
down. They're not up here for a week and then we take them down.
No.
They're here. This is where they live now. They live here.
And the audio version streams on iHeart, Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, Amazon, Apple Podcasts.
Spread that word.
It streams everywhere. So so you have the video, you have the audio, and you have the talent. And so we appreciate Michael for coming on the show. We wish you much success. I'm happy that he got a couple of pledges while he was on the show. He's got 49 hours left to go. He's up to 42 backers. Can we get him past 2,000? I'm sure we can. So please send that link out to your friends and family. Let them know about Tiki Zombie. It just sounds fun. So this was another great live episode. I do want to say thank you to San Martino, to Sensei Vegan, Johnny Syfax, Captain Love Handles. Did I miss anybody?
Did you miss anybody?
I think I got everybody.
No, of course. Well, I don't know.
And for those of you watching, because there's a lot of people watching but not participating on Facebook, and I can see the list of people watching. So thank you for watching on Facebook and on Twitter, because we're streaming also on Twitter and on Twitch. So thank you all for watching this episode. Another great episode. This week was a lot of shows.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a show there this morning, plus these 2 live shows tonight, plus we have Friday's show that goes up. Plus we had the Crates and Nintendo less on Monday. So it was a big week for the House of the Craze.
There's been a lot of content.
A lot of content. And again, mark your calendars, November 1st. Forbidden, the graphic novel, volume 1, issue number 2. So issue number 2, The Hunt, which is the follow-up to the issue 0 and 1, and also the collected of the first 3 issues will launch November 1st on Kickstarter. So don't forget. And here's a sneak peek of the variant homage cover. Boom. There it is. By none other than your boy Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Join me for a massive launch party online. We're going to stream live and make this baby work. So you get an option of collecting the floppy or collecting the collected. So it's going to be dope.
Speaking of the shows that we have this Friday, we have John Hervey on the show, Beyond Time.
That was a really good show. Don't miss that one.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
So check that out. That's coming up Friday. But make sure you hit that, not just the subscribe button, but once you're subscribed, hit the little bell. Because when you hit that little bell, as soon as a new episode comes up, you'll get the alert. You'll get the alert and you'll know that it's up. So you won't miss any show.
Ring my bell, my bell. Indeed. Yeah, so ring that bell. Again, thank you all for watching. We appreciate every single one of you out there. Let's help the indie community grow. With that said, I am Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
And George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right? This is what you were thinking? Oh, he described me. He said, I'm the...
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. On Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.